Brother Joe Mann is a Deputy General Secretary of Community and former General Secretary of the National League of the Blind and Disabled. We greatly look forward to your address, Joe, and thank you for enabling us to be part of this meeting and for choosing the theme, The Will to Win.
I've actually come to the conclusion that was a really bad idea of mine now, because I think I've made myself redundant, because I think they're doing absolutely brilliant. And I could probably go home and don't vote on that. So, yeah, Chair, colleagues, I've chosen the theme for this conference, The Will to Win. Why? Because it must be our highest priority, because we've lost it. And if we don't recover it, then it would be all over for the trade union movement. Union density, down, 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 never up, 20% and dropping. Large workplaces and collective agreements in decline, and that won't change. With 80% of the working population thinking we are irrelevant, they certainly won't be going on any general strike. We have a huge job of work to do, which we can do, and which we must do together. But if we keep on doing what we're doing, we're going to keep on getting what we're getting. We have to change. It's tempting to fall back on comfort zones and reach the past when we had huge numbers, and indeed I can remember when we were turning people away. But the solutions do not all lie in the past, and I put it to you that whilst we forge a new trades unionism for the future that must be relevant to all those out there who think we are not, and yes, crucially, Chair, relevant to the younger generation, it is our belief in collectivism that is the one shining beacon from the past that we must never lose. The stark differences between us and the Tories is actually never clearer. You know, Thatcher let the Tory ideology slip out of the bag. There's no such thing as society, only individuals. That's not in any Tory party constitution or Tory rules that anybody can see, never in an election address or preached on the doorstep at election time. Whilst we wear our badge proudly in terms of what we are, so all can see, Clause 4 of the Labour Party constitution, by the strength of our common endeavour, we achieve more than we do alone, our common endeavour. That's all we need to know, what we stand for, our collective identity and our pledge to each other and the country, the difference between us and the Tories. But we need to understand just what is at stake here in the next 2 years before the general election, and what will happen if we don't win. Not only will they move to destroy the trade union movement, but the last vestige of hope for our communities. Disabled people, and one of the things Doug Nichols and I have in common is that we are both disabled people and follow this agenda closely. Disabled people are choosing to commit suicide, to take their own lives, rather than live in the sort of world Tory policy demands of them. That's the reality of today. This is not some stale academic political debate. This is a war with the lives of our people at stake. And what is there to oppose them? Only us. But within the dynamics of the trade union movement, there are factions, left, right, different groupings, big and small, with different positions on issues, some thinking they have a monopoly of people's attention. We are unfortunately very good at expending our energies fighting amongst ourselves, because it's easier, rather than concentrating our energies on the Tories and our real opponents. We are at times our own worst enemy. And the only winners are the Tories and the forces of reaction that oppose us. There are only the Tories and us, and precious few of us at that, in the context of the whole population. All our energies must be focused on combining to defend our people and that collective identity we believe in reaching out to new and younger people and bringing that collective determination to defeating the Tories the way we did in 1997. We had it then, this will to win that I talk about. We seem to forget that between 94 and 97, we'd all had enough and came together like never before in the labour movement to build a consensus right across our communities that defined and forged a will to win that was so powerful it carried us through 3 general election victories. We have to rediscover that same collective will and determination to win for our people, to win for Labour in 2 years' time, to win for our unions, and yes, to win for the GFTU, which is why we are here today. I've been immensely proud to serve as General Secretary of a GFTU affiliated union, to have been Deputy General Secretary of Community, and to have been President of the GFTU for the last 2 years. The GFTU can survive and prosper and be very relevant to the movement as a base for specialisation and smaller unions and collective organisations who share the same values, and it can be more than that. I hope I have led the Executive Committee responsibly, and I wish to thank all of them for their support, their wisdom, their hard work and encouragement over the last 2 years. And I do also wish the new executive well in the work they have to do. And Doug Nicholls has come out of the traps, all guns blazing, making all sorts of radical changes, and good luck to you too, Doug. After 15 years, I'm leaving the executive, so a bit of advice on my way out. Firstly, I recall the words of Dennis Skinner at a Labour Party NEC meeting when we were discussing party finance. We used to sit next to each other at NEC meetings. He said, "You can't have socialism if you're broke." Dennis Skinner, absolutely right. The finances of the GFTU are on a knife edge. The collective financial strength, nobody looks at this, you need to. The collective financial strength of the movement is declining rapidly. The new executive will have to make very tough decisions if the GFTU is to survive, and they will need the support of all the affiliated unions in the decisions that have to be made. Secondly, politically, the GFTU has prided itself on respecting the positions of all, whether Labour Party affiliates or not, whether large or small, and irrespective as being defined as from the left or the right. Now this is and has been a huge strength, excluding no one. My advice is don't go affiliating to any particular left or right-wing organisations. Keep a simple and strong focus on supporting the party back into power, and that will stand you in good stead and alienate no one. Thirdly, growth. Now, there's huge potential. And there really is, if you look at what can be done and the organisations out there and what the GFTU can stand for. But instead of restricting that potential to traditional narrow confines, the GFTU should reach out to all with shared values and bring in new organisations who are forging different ways of reaching into a collective future. We've much to learn in reaching beyond our traditional boundaries. There are organisations out there, collective, membership-based organisations in growth. We need to understand why. We need to understand that we may have shared values and reach out to them for the future. So, Chair, the past, well, cheers. The past, that's my generation. The collective future is in the hands of your generation now. It's your turn. Good luck.